Beware of these three faces around you, because one of them doesn't want your happiness. One of them smiles when you're looking and plots when you're not. And if you're listening to this, it means fate wanted you to know before it's too late. You see, love stories don't always fall apart because of distance or time. Sometimes they break because of the people who act like they care. But deep down, they can't stand seeing two hearts become one. It all began when I first heard about your wedding. I smiled, because after everything you've been through, you finally found the one. You were glowing in every picture, every video you shared. Your laughter sounded real again, and your eyes had that spark that once went missing. But something about it, something deep inside me, whispered that not everyone around you was celebrating your joy with the same heart. You might think it's just my imagination, but there are signs, and once you start noticing them, you'll realize what I'm saying isn't just a story. There are three faces close to you who know every detail of your December plans. They've smiled at your engagement photos. They've asked you about the wedding dress, and they've even said how lucky you are. But behind those smiles, two carry envy and one carries a secret. And the one with the secret is the most dangerous of all. They know something you don't. They've been watching the way your partner looks at you, and they've been studying your every move, pretending it's out of care. But it's not. I remember the first time I noticed the shift, when one of them started changing their tone. Whenever your name was mentioned, their compliments became shorter, their laughter a little too fake, and whenever you spoke about your happiness, their silence got longer. That's the kind of silence that carries a storm inside, the kind that waits for the perfect moment, the week before your wedding, maybe, to create chaos in your peace. And when that moment comes, they'll say something so small, so gentle, but powerful enough to make you question everything you believe. The second face, that one is trickier. They appear loyal. They'll help with the decorations. They'll pick your outfit. They'll even hold your hand when stress gets too much. But deep down, they want what you have. They've been wishing for the same love you found, but life never gave it to them. And instead of healing, they decided to hide their pain behind kindness. Don't mistake their support for peace, because when jealousy hides behind love, it's like a shadow pretending to be your reflection. You never notice until it's already walking beside you. And then there's the third one, the one who hides behind affection. That person will call you my dearest. They'll say they want the best for you, but they are the reason you feel anxious at night without knowing why. That's because their energy doesn't match their words. When you talk about your future, their eyes don't light up. They freeze. For a second, their true feeling slips out, and then it disappears under a fake smile. Watch closely. Next time, it's there. The face you trust the most might be the one silently waiting for December to fall apart. Sometimes love stories aren't ruined by heartbreak. They're destroyed by influence. The wrong whisper at the wrong time can plant doubt even in the strongest heart. And once doubt starts growing, even the purest love starts to shake. That's what they want. For you to second guess what's real. To make you believe that maybe your partner isn't being honest. That maybe, just maybe, this happiness is temporary. And once that seed is planted, it grows fast. Faster than trust. Faster than reason. But here's the truth. They don't know your love didn't start overnight. It wasn't built on fancy words or promises. It grew from patience, from late night conversations, from small moments that only you two understand. That's what they can't destroy, even if they try. Because real love has roots deeper than anyone's opinion. It's not fragile, it's quiet, it's steady, and it's stronger than the faces pretending to care. Still, I want you to stay alert. In every conversation, Notice who listens with their eyes and who only waits for their turn to speak. Watch who changes the topic when you talk about your dreams. Notice who disappears when you need help the most. That's how you'll find the three faces. They're not evil, just broken in their own ways. But broken people often break others to feel less alone. There's something else, something I haven't told you yet. One of those three once loved your partner, not in the way you do, but enough to never forget. That's the reason their heart burns every time they see you two together. That's why they're still here, pretending to be part of your happiness while secretly reliving what they lost. They want to see if love can fall apart again, the same way theirs did. But what they don't realize is, love built on truth doesn't crumble like theirs did. It stands taller, even when surrounded by lies. In the days leading to December, you'll notice little things: a forgotten message, a strange coincidence, a sentence that feels too perfectly timed to be random. These won't be accidents. They'll be pieces of someone's plan, someone who wants to test how much your heart can take. But don't give them that power. Smile through the noise, hold your partner's hand tighter, and remember that sometimes silence is the best revenge. The closer the wedding gets, the more their masks will slip. One of them will suddenly act too caring. Another will start pulling away. And when that happens, don't panic. Just observe, because the moment you stop reacting, they lose control. These faces feed on your confusion, but when you stay calm, they can't touch your peace. You're not just getting married. You're walking into a new life, and with every step you take, some people will clap while secretly counting the days until your joy fades. But let them watch, because your story isn't theirs to rewrite. Love always finds its way, even through envy and betrayal. Still, be ready. December isn't just your wedding month, it's the month that will reveal who truly loves you and who only loved what you could offer. Every smile, every hug, every "I'm happy for you." Look beyond the words, because truth always hides behind tone, not language. And when you finally wear that dress, when the lights shine on you, and when your partner's eyes find yours across the crowd, that's when you'll see who really belongs in your life. The ones who smile genuinely, and the ones who freeze for a moment too long. That's all it takes. 1 second of truth. 1 second where love and jealousy collide, and only one survives. Because December won't just be your wedding month, it'll be your awakening. The month when masks fall and true hearts are seen. So be ready, my dear. Stay aware, and remember, 3 faces, 1 secret, and 1 unshakable love that no one can destroy. You might think December will come, and everything will go smoothly. The decorations shining, music echoing through the air, the love of your life waiting for you at the end of the aisle. But something deep inside tells me you'll start to notice strange things long before that day arrives. The kind of moments that seem too small to matter, but they do. That's how it starts. Quiet, subtle, like the whisper of wind before a storm. Calm, almost harmless, until it isn't. It might begin with a message you weren't meant to see. Maybe someone close to you, one of those 3 faces, sends something to your partner. Something that sounds innocent, but the timing feels wrong. You'll look at it once, twice, maybe even smile, and brush it off. But that small question will stay. Why now? Why this tone? Why that person? That's how doubt slips in, softly, politely, as if it belongs there. Then come the phone calls, the sudden silence when you walk into the room, the quick change of topic. You'll hear your name in their conversations, followed by quiet laughter. It'll sound light-hearted, but your heart will know the difference between being loved and being discussed. You'll pretend not to care, but every night that laughter will replay in your head until you start wondering if it's really just your imagination. The first phase will be the one you least expect, the one you trust like family. They'll act the same at first, showing care, asking if you're nervous about the wedding, complimenting your choices. But slowly, their questions will start turning sharper. They'll ask things like, "Are you sure this is what you want? Or you two haven't been arguing lately, right?" Always pretending to be concerned. But deep down, they just want to plant uncertainty. They'll make you feel like they're protecting you, when in truth, they're protecting their own jealousy. The second phase, they'll be the listener, the one who always agrees, always nods, always says what you want to hear. But what you don't see is how they collect your words like weapons, saving them for the right moment to twist. They'll comfort you during small arguments, but they'll use what you said later to stir more fire. They'll never confront you directly. They'll just make sure your doubts grow roots deep enough to bloom by December. And the third one, they'll stay quiet the longest. They won't show jealousy. They won't show anger. They'll act almost too perfect, too calm, like they've accepted your happiness. But that's only because they're watching, waiting for a weakness. You see, their weapon isn't gossip, it's timing. They'll strike when your guard is down, when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you just need peace. That's when they'll show you something. A message, a photo, a rumor, carefully crafted to break your focus. And they'll say something like, "I didn't want to show you this, but you deserve to know." And just like that, your perfect moment starts to bend. You'll spend nights staring at your phone, wondering if what you saw was true. You'll think about asking your partner, but a voice in your head will whisper, "What if they lie?" That voice isn't yours, it's theirs. It's the voice they built with their fake care, their hidden envy, and every time you listen to it, you give them power. But the thing about love, real love, is that it doesn't break quietly. It fights back. Even when doubt knocks, love remembers. It remembers the nights you both stayed awake dreaming about your future. It remembers the small sacrifices, the shared laughter after arguments, the random hugs in silence. That's what they can't destroy, no matter how hard they try. Because real connection doesn't fade when tested. It only grows stronger. Still, I won't lie to you. The days before the wedding will feel strange. People will start acting differently. You'll notice glances that never existed before, whispers that stop when you walk in. The energy around you will change, not dark, but heavy. That's because truth can't stay hidden forever. Masks begin to crack when love shines too bright. There will be a night, maybe a week before your wedding, when something unexpected happens. A disagreement, maybe even a misunderstanding between you and your partner. You'll feel that chill of fear. Is this the sign? Is this the start of the fall? But no, it won't be. That will be your test. The moment the universe asks you to choose between fear and faith. And if you choose faith, the faces around you will reveal themselves one by one. The first will make a mistake. They'll speak too soon. You'll catch a sentence they didn't mean for you to hear. A tone that gives them away. They'll try to cover it up, laugh it off, but it'll be too late. Their mask will slip, even for a moment, and you'll know. That's when everything will start making sense. The second will crumble under pressure. They'll try to fix things, pretending they were on your side all along. They'll blame others, act innocent, maybe even cry. But the truth doesn't hide behind tears, and your heart will feel the lie. The third one, though, that's the one you need to watch most. They'll stay quiet even then. They won't deny or explain. They'll just disappear for a while, vanish into silence, and when they return, they'll act like nothing happened. but the distance between you will speak louder than any words. That's when you'll finally see who was the shadow all along. But here's the most beautiful part. Through all this chaos, you'll discover something about yourself. You'll realize that love isn't just about finding the right person. It's about protecting what's right, even when the world tries to turn it against you. You'll find strength in your partner's eyes, the kind of strength that says, "We've got this," and in that moment, everything the three faces tried to break will only bind you two closer. There will come a morning when you wake up and everything feels still. No whispers, no doubts, just peace. The kind that comes after a storm finally gives up. That day you'll know. You'll know who's real, who's fake, and who was never meant to stay. And even though it'll hurt, losing people always does, you'll feel lighter, because when false love leaves, space opens for truth to breathe. December will come faster than you think. The air will be cold, but your heart will be warm, because despite the noise, despite the chaos, you'll stand beside the one who never left. And as you take that walk toward your forever, you'll see faces smiling, clapping, pretending, but your eyes will find only one that matters. The one that stayed. The one that never doubted. And maybe, just maybe, one of those three faces will be there too. Standing quietly in the crowd, watching what they couldn't destroy. They'll smile, but this time it'll be real. Not because they're happy for you, but because they finally understand what they could never break. Because love, when it's true, doesn't need to fight for survival. It simply exists. And that's something no envy, no rumor, no secret can ever take away. So as December approaches, breathe easy, watch closely, love deeply, and remember, not everyone who claps for you wants you to win, but the one who stands beside you, even in silence, is the only one who ever truly did. As December draws nearer, you'll start to feel it, not just the chill in the air, but the shift in the energy around you. It's like every light flickers a little differently, every word people say carries a second meaning, and even laughter begins to sound strange. Like there's something hidden behind it. You'll tell yourself it's just the pressure, the nerves that come before the wedding, but deep down, you'll know something's changing, something's watching, something's waiting to see what you'll do next. It'll start with the invitation. You'll notice that one of the names you plan to include has been removed, not by mistake, but intentionally. You'll ask who did it, and no one will have an answer. The printer will say it wasn't them. Your partner will say they didn't touch it. And yet, one name, one important person will be missing. A small thing, but your heart will feel that quiet pull of unease. That's how they work. The faces around you don't attack directly. They chip away quietly, piece by piece, until doubt becomes your daily companion. One afternoon you'll walk into a room and hear your name again. Low voices, hurried words. When they notice you, the silence will hit like a slap. They'll smile, too wide, too quick, and say something harmless. Something like, "We were just talking about decorations." But the way their eyes flicker to each other will tell you it wasn't about decorations. And the strange part, you won't even ask. You'll just stand there, smiling back, pretending everything's fine, because by now pretending feels safer than knowing. Still, amid all this tension, there's love, real, unshakable love. The kind that feels like calm water under all the noise. Every time your partner looks at you, you'll feel a kind of reassurance that no lie can steal. They'll sense it too. Your worry, your guardedness, and they'll hold your hand a little longer than usual, as if trying to remind you it's just us. No one else matters. But there's one thing they don't know. You've started noticing patterns. The same people who act the kindest around you are also the ones who know too much. They remember details you never told them. They ask questions about private moments, that were never shared? How? That question will keep echoing in your mind. The first face, the one who pretends to care, will start showing their cracks. You'll catch them in small lies. They'll forget the stories they told you before. They'll mix their own words, and for the first time their fake concern will sound like guilt. You'll test them, casually, carefully, dropping small hints to see how they react. And when you do, their smile will falter for just a second. That single second will tell you more than 1,000 explanations ever could. The second face, the listener, will keep you close. They'll call more often, text more often, always checking in. They'll say things like, "You're under a lot of stress. I just want to make sure you're okay." And at first it'll sound sweet, thoughtful, but soon you'll realize they always ask questions that lead back to your partner. Are they treating you right? Have they changed lately? They'll plant seeds disguised as care. But what they're really doing is creating a version of your partner in your head. One that isn't real. One that makes you doubt. And then, the third face. The quiet one. The one who barely speaks anymore. You'll almost forget about them. Until one night, you'll receive something unexpected. Maybe a message, maybe a photo, maybe a voice note, something that makes your heart stop. It'll be something that makes your world spin for a second, but it'll also feel planned, too perfect, too timed, like it was waiting for that exact moment when your trust was at its weakest. That's when you'll understand. It was never about breaking your wedding. It was about breaking your peace. Because once you lose peace, love begins to stumble. That's their plan. But this time, you won't fall for it. You'll take a breath, long, slow, and instead of reacting, you'll choose to wait. You'll watch, listen, and let silence do its work. Because silence reveals more than confrontation ever could. You'll start to notice how they behave when you stop giving them reactions. The first face will get nervous. They'll start over-explaining, trying to pull you back into conversation. The second will get louder, desperate to be heard. And the third, they'll stay calm, maybe too calm, because they'll realize you've started to see. Days will pass. The wedding will be closer than ever. The decorations will be set, the music chosen, the suits and dresses ready, everything perfect from the outside. But inside you'll still feel that small storm brewing, and you'll know before that big day something has to happen. Something that'll expose everything once and for all. That moment will come unexpectedly. Not with shouting or arguments, but with quiet truth. Maybe you'll overhear something. Maybe someone close to you will slip and say too much. Or maybe your partner will hand you their phone one evening, open on a message that explains everything. Proof of who's been whispering behind your back. Who's been pretending to protect you while feeding you poison. When it happens, it'll hurt. You'll feel betrayed, not just by what they did, but by how long they smiled in your face while doing it. You'll think about every moment they stood beside you, every word of support, and how fake it all was. But then you'll look at your partner, the one who stayed silent when others spoke, the one who never played games. And in that moment, the pain will fade. Because love built on truth doesn't shatter under lies. It only stands taller. The three faces, they'll react differently. The first one will beg for forgiveness, saying they were just trying to protect you. The second will blame others, twist the story again, act confused. And the third, they'll simply stare, expressionless, realizing that their silence has finally spoken louder than their plan. You won't need to argue. You won't need revenge. You'll just walk away, calmly, quietly, because there's nothing stronger than walking away knowing the truth. And when you do, something magical will happen. The tension that's been clouding your heart for weeks will lift. You'll breathe again, really breathe. You'll laugh again. Not because everything's fixed, but because everything fake has fallen away. The wedding will still come, but it won't just be a ceremony anymore. It'll be a celebration of surviving everything that tried to stop you. When you stand there, holding your partner's hand, you'll remember every shadow, every doubt, every whispered lie, and how, through all of it, your love never wavered. There will be people smiling around you, some genuinely happy, some pretending still, but you won't care anymore. Because the moment you say I do, it won't be for the me, it'll be for the peace you fought for, the love you protected, the truth you uncovered. And after it's all over, when the lights dim, and everyone leaves, you'll sit quietly beside the one who stayed. You'll hold their hand and whisper something simple, something real. Maybe we made it. And in that silence, everything will make sense. Because the truth is, those three faces were never there to destroy your love. They were there to test it, to show you who you could trust, who you couldn't, and how deep love can go when it's challenged. And though it'll hurt to remember them, you'll still be grateful. Because without them, you might have never seen how unbreakable your bond really was. So as the night ends, and December finally closes its curtain, you'll smile. Not because everything went perfectly, but because despite every shadow, your love still stood in the light, unshaken, untouched, and real.